Hello everybody. Hi. So we are back here. I am Anushka, meditation integration coach, and put these beautiful videos up on YouTube regarding philosophy, on meditation, sex, reading books, pretty much everything life, everything from the esoteric into our human experience. So today we have Dreena.
Hello.
Hey, so this is my first guest that I have on here, and I'm really excited. I'm so excited. So we have an interesting topic to talk about. I wanted to talk about this topic for a while, but we shared a similar conversation, and I said, you know what? It's beautiful to two powerful women to speak on that, and how that it's going to manifest. It's going to be
Girl
great.
talk.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, please share what you're about and what you do on Earth.
So I'm Dreena. I go by Cocktail Dreena, and my brand is Cocktail Lifestyle. I am a vegan chef and a holistic nutritionist. So I really like to bring the two worlds of what tastes good, what feeds our egos, and what's also really good for our bodies together. And I like to show people that, you know, being healthy and being on a holistic lifestyle, being in a holistic lifestyle, living a holistic lifestyle, doesn't have to be bland, tasteless, or boring. It can actually be really fun.
Yeah.
And I believe that I'm a cocktail, and I use all the ingredients that, you know, work for me and my lifestyle. Wow. And I create my perfect cocktail lifestyle.
That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, you're so welcome. Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, we're doing the video. Do you want to join us?
Sure.
Awesome.
You can put in the middle here.
Yeah, you can join us. So, yeah, I'll start off with kind of what we were talking about in the topic. And you're welcome. Do you want to say hi?
What's up, Wagwan? Zimmy? Welcome.
Welcome. Yes, welcome. This is our space. Cool. Great. So, we were going to talk about the experience of what it means to... I don't know how to word this. Like, how do I want to... I don't want to overcomplicate it. But basically... an intimate experience with men.
Yeah.
And what that means for in relationships where we're quote unquote conscious or quote unquote aware of other people's energies, other people's baggage that they bring, and realizations of what the female goddess is.
Yeah, and realizations of your own too. Like
exactly.
Your own baggage, knowing what your standards are, where your limits are, and not being afraid to just express yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Wow, you're actually like you can join us too. You good balance. Okay, great. So, I guess I'll go first. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So what I've experienced is that sometimes this awareness that, like in an intimate relationship, that women require more
complacency.
Not really complacency, but more attention when it regards to being intimate.
What do you mean by that?
I think so. I think that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. So yeah, what I mean by that is that I'm into tantra. What that means is really getting to know the energy. So basically, you're building up on this energy of who the personality is. So you're kind of making love to the personality first and foremost.
Same.
Yeah, before anything else. And so I think that's so important to be for me. And I realized like I don't even want to like generalize to anyone. Like for me, that was so important to be like to get more wet faster. I feel like there's like kids here. I don't like.
I think we could talk freely.
Yeah. So to like get wet faster and to be more, or just even comfortable with.
Person.
Yeah. At first, I needed to like have fun. Yeah, have fun with your personality, and that's where like the intriguing.
If I can't laugh during sex, it don't make no sense.
Yeah, you have to be able to just really just be yourself, and
I can't take it with a joke. It's not serious.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I completely agree. Like it's very important for you why does it always have to be a rush? Why does it always have to be a race? Like, we're not in a race. Let's take our time. When it happens, it happens. And we need that slow build. Like you said, like, you're not going to get me there. You're not going to get me wet and get me ready and excited to have sex unless it's actually a slow build. And I got to take the time to get to know you first. Our conversations turn me on. Like, you know, absolutely. I need more than just...
Like you're trying to reach the end.
Exactly. We're not rushing to get to the finish line.
We're a journey.
It's supposed to be a journey.
Exactly.
We're smelling the roses along the way, and we're feeling all of the sensations.
Strolling is a good word.
Yeah,
we're a stroll. We're not a sprint.
That's so true. Because I feel like even sometimes, so we were having this kind of like talk about like some people who some experiences where we, you know, people are like. Okay, I'm like, I feel like I'm watering down, but I'm going to be specific and just cut to the chase. That guys who were familiar with energy, like, they weren't transferring this understanding when it was being intimate with a woman. So, you know, they're understanding, okay, my chakras are present, we all have them, everyone is, embodies this, but when it comes to the
sexual side.
Yeah.
There's no sexual maturity.
Yes, and that's what we were talking about. So I think that's what I'm going to title this, sexual maturity. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Good title.
We were talking about
that too.
That's awesome.
We're talking about how, like, like you said, they're especially in the so-called conscious community, there will be a lot of people who will claim to be so conscious and so woke, but then they pick and choose what they want to be conscious and woke about. And you can't pick and choose. You gotta be conscious and woke about everything, and just be very aware of the fact that energy is felt in different situations and scenarios and in so many different forms and ways, and like when it comes to sex especially, that's powerful energy that's being exchanged.
Yes, very, very powerful.
Roots of creation, dog. My crutches and yours, nah, girl, be fit already, dog.
Exactly.
Yo,
exactly.
Man, it's just interesting, right? Because I feel like that like, there's a lot of conditioning that has to be undone in order to really go there, because I feel like people like redo reoccurring patterns from like what they've seen, what they've done.
And it's hard to read there.
Myself included, right? Like we've all part of this journey, which is why we are even able to talk about it. Yeah, and so.
Step to be able to talk.
Pardon?
I said it's a step to be able to like even put it out of your mouth.
Exactly. Because I didn't even know how to put this into words before. I just thought like I wasn't being complacent. Right? And then I was like, no, wait a minute, like I have a say in this. Like I get to choose. I get to choose, and I get to be like, this is actually your thing.
It's your body.
Exactly.
Just like, but wait, so why am I allowing myself to be? Because when you're not active or like aware or in the moment of the process, it's like you're just allowing yourself to be used by whoever is there.
Right.
So you become, if you weren't breathing, you'd be an inanimate object that they're just using to release themselves. And I'm just like, why would I want to be a puppet, you know?
Yeah.
Because you're worried about your end goal. You're not worried about how I feel throughout the process.
The only reason that I'm here is because I'm warm, I'm breathing, and I look good enough for you to want to use it. Should yourself into and release off of. But that's just some people. I'm not going to say that's for all.
Right, yeah.
But for like ancient people, you know, fucker people who just have no manners or morals, that's where they go for that. And he like, you know, it's a good thing. So you have some men who like, they count how many girls' virginities they've taken and like notch it off, and you know, as if to say, yo, I've done this, just to brag to men who they're not having sex with. I'm just like, so you're doing this, you're jumping into vagina to boast to men who have penises that you're not fucking at all, but it's important to you that they know that you've been this kind of conqueror.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, that's and like I feel like on the other side of that, I was having a really great conversation and connection with a guy, and what was happening was that he was mistaking that for wanting to kiss me, and I was just like, but
that's not the body language.
And I was just like, you got that, but I didn't get that. Like I wasn't giving that out, right? And so and then I was inspired to share and teach people on this. So I was performing one day. It was my first where I was the one featuring as a poet, and that was one of the poems that I did, where we were like, just because you have a beautiful connection with someone doesn't mean you have to date them. You know what I mean? Or doesn't mean you have to like be physically intimate with them.
You can just feel what you're feeling and have a their platonic friendship. Like,
yeah.
what's so wrong with just having a friendship? Like, why does it always have to, or most times have to escalate to something physical? Like I get it, understanding that.
Me
like
too,
you feel the attractiveness, and it's not necessarily something that's sexual when you make it something sexual.
Exactly.
It's just a good vibe between you and that person. Like, it's like you don't know what to do with it, and your body's saying, okay, let's try and attack him or her.
Yeah.
And then when it doesn't work out, you're wondering why, because you had this great feeling in the beginning. Nah, it was meant for you to just get to know each other.
I feel like because society tends to put a lot of emphasis on relationship, marriage, like, sex everywhere you go. That's the first thing that comes to people's mind. Once there's a connection, automatically the next thing is just sex.
You're my man, or you're my woman.
Yeah.
That's true.
There has to be some type of ownership, some type of claiming, and then there has to be something physical that happens. But they don't talk about or push the fact that a man and a woman can actually just be platonic friends.
I totally agree with that.
They don't ever have to be physical, ever.
Yeah. Like, we have great relationships.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
I mean, even the word relationship is always taken out of context. Like, you're not referring to the person that you're actually dating. I'm just like, but you have family relationships.
Exactly.
You have
So many different types.
And I'm just like, so why is it that when it comes out of my mouth about another male, obviously it's supposed to equate being together or into things, or like, I just couldn't understand. And I was just like, okay, but my friendships are relationships and they're great.
Exactly.
And the same kind of effort I have to put in an intimate one, I still have to put that same energy in a friendship, especially if I want to keep the person on a long-term basis.
Exactly.
And I'm not gonna sacrifice one for the other, isn't it? Because I feel like everybody who I've held in this small bubble is important. So all of the relationships are important, depending on how I vibe with the person, or how close we are, or how close we feel, together. And that takes work to maintain. Like, if we stop talking for like 2 months, and we don't know what's going on, chances are we're gonna get distant, and then there's a less likelihood that one of us is going to message because so much time has already passed and you don't know what to say, and then you end up becoming strangers. You meet up 6 years later, I haven't seen you in a while. Why was that? Because you refused to send a message. From
just say hello, just to say have a great day.
Same kind of effort, same kind of effort, same kind of vibe, same kind of effort. Some things are reserved or like left for your partner, yes, but it's the same kind of. And
on that note, I have to say that one of my pet peeves, and it actually makes me sad, is I've more so experienced this with female friends than male friends. But once, like, I have a girlfriend and we have a good relationship, and then all of a sudden they get into a relationship with a guy and they have a boyfriend, and then they don't know who their friends are anymore. All of a sudden they don't have time for you anymore. They're spending all their time paying all their attention,
making that plant grow.
Exactly, and it's like, okay,
so
I completely get it though. I completely get it. I understand you're excited, you're in something new, but that shouldn't erase all the time that you've spent in this relationship as a friend.
Yes.
And all the effort that we put into building this to where it was before you started that relationship.
Yeah.
And even through that relationship, like, that can't just be the only person in your life. Like, you're always going to need other people in your life. You're still going to need friends in your life. Like, who you gonna run to when you want space from that person? Who you gonna run to vent about that person?
Yeah.
Who is going to be the one that you can fall back on and depend on for other things outside of that intimate relationship?
Yeah.
Because having a platonic friendship is much different from having an intimate relationship, and it can fuel you in different ways.
Yeah.
So it really bothers me when that happens to me, or when I see other females do it to their friends. Like, don't cut your friends off just because you now have a man. Like, and vice versa. Like,
you even all make the best decision either, but you take up this man dog and then they are water. I said, who I told? I told Jenna. No, I was telling somebody else, but Jenna was there. I said, some man take, them need to grow and bloom a little longer, but that means that you are the gardener. So just take up yourself and move on and distribute your energy to everybody. Nobody just take up yourself to, boy, I want this one to grow with and whatever. So I go give my all. And then at the end of the day, them group and them cut, you have to have a little balance and come on to everything so you can keep perspective.
I think that's so important, because when you put all your eggs in that, when you put so much energy into that relationship, and not to say that intimate relationship is not important, but if you overemphasize it and you're not taking care of your other relationships that have also been there, that's when there's an imbalance. And then when something does happen or you do break off, it's like a big chunk of you has left because
you made that the whole of you.
Exactly. Yeah. I have to say, I was guilty of that with my and I didn't even know it. I never thought I'd be that person. I never thought I'd be it. But I had my first boyfriend, and it happened so gradually, but no one called me out on it. No one actually called me out that that was the reason, because I did it because I'm very independent. Does that mean? It was kind of masked, because I am a very independent person.
Yeah.
But now that I'm looking back, all my relationships were kind of cut down. They were cut down because I put so much in it, and now this person who's not my ex is a friend, but it's because we've put so much into it that now we can still remain friends. But I realized that it was so interesting, because I was like, where'd my friends go?
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
Why am I by myself all of a sudden?
And to add to what you were saying in regards to the energy, like, we need to teach people more when that energy does arise, that it doesn't mean instantly go have sex with this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need to, like, that's why I love having this conversation, because it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, you have to go date. It just means you're vibing with that person. It just means, like, maybe you're teaching each other stuff, and you need to learn it, and you've manifested them for a reason to be in your space. And it could be platonic, it could be intimate, it can maybe take 3 years to get one to the other.
It might even only last 2 months.
Exactly.
You have to be okay with that.
Exactly.
Like, you know, don't try to make that your everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
I think another thing that we had wanted to also touch upon was just like, when you're not feeling that energy and that person is, and they try to make a move on it, but you're not comfortable with it, don't be complacent. Speak up.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to be like, X! Wait, hold up. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Sorry, you got some signals wrong.
Yeah.
You gotta do the
It's so important.
It's so important to be able to do that, because, like, I've been in situations where I didn't want things to progress further, but because I was so insecure at the time, and, like, you know, I was worried about, oh, but what if they don't like me anymore? Like, you know, but I was still in that let me get to know you phase.
Yeah.
And they were ready to jump straight into just having sex. And I let it happen because I was afraid of them not liking me anymore, or, you know, not wanting to be around me, or wanting to cut me off, or whatever. But now, like, I'm totally not afraid to be like, whoa, stop, what are you doing? You just skipped a whole bunch of steps.
Like a whole bunch of chapters. Like
you haven't even tried to kiss me yet, you're trying to put your thing inside of me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is not, that's not cool.
Tear off clothes type of.
Yeah, like you're trying your most to just get my clothes off and just jump into things. Like, you're not even trying to figure out what it is that I like, what it is that I don't like.
And have that conversation.
That's a conversation.
So
Can we talk about that
Let's
first?
talk about it. Can we talk about
it first for real?
Yeah.
No,
you don't
seriously.
just act on those things.
Like,
oh, my
what happened to
crutches,
phone
if you jump
sex?
in, let me come and jump with you. No.
Thank you. Like, let's have a little phone sex. Let's do some
That's why
sex
people get
thing first. Like, you know?
during sex, because they don't talk about it. They're just like, I don't even know what you like or what you don't like. I'm just kind of like testing it out here, isn't it? And like, you're guesstimating, and some people shy and don't want to talk in the moment because you don't take off your clothes, dog. Like, so we're going to make this work now, because now the two of us shy and nobody knows it. So we're just like, going to sit on here and say, well, alright then. And then awkwardly try to fit together. No, when you could have
that kind of
talked
happened
about
to me recently.
Right?
And it was just like, I'm like, wait, so, like, do you understand, like, what, like, the sexual energy is? Like, what because what I was getting was no. Like, his body was saying no. And then he's like, and then he started talking like, no, actually, like, I have a connection with my breath and my body. And I was just like, so then why are you trying to get intimate with me? Like, why is that the first thing that's so innate to you? Well, I know why it's innate to you, but it's like take a moment to, like, think about it, like, or feel about it, like, feel the, like, have you even, like, tasted my breath? Like,
seriously, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Have you tasted my breath?
Have you even looked me in my eyes properly?
Exactly.
Like, do you know that I have little, you know, like, little things?
Exactly.
Like, there's so much more for you to explore, but you're so ready to be tactile.
Exactly. And that's like that's my favorite part, and I hated it, and I was so worried that for so long that's what I liked, that I didn't know that was okay. You know, and that's why we're having this conversation on sexual maturity, because speaking about, like, what you want, how you like it, it's okay and it's healthy and it's actually normal and needed. So, like, share this in intimate spaces.
This is the lack of those conversations is why there are so many females that I know who don't experience orgasms, because you haven't taken the time to, first of all, get to know yourself, get to know your body, what it is that you enjoy, what it is that you don't enjoy, and you haven't gotten to that place where you can actually express that to your partner so that they know, and they know how to treat your body accordingly to get you to that place. For women, it's a lot more than penetration. Sex starts way before penetration.
Yeah, exactly.
It's here first mentally.
Yes.
That's how you really get those that bang orgasm. Like you have to be turned on mentally first. You have to feel the sensations before the touch comes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Then once the touch does come, it has to be slow. Well, for most women at least. I won't speak for all, but for me at least, it has to be slow. It has to be tender. Tender, but yet a little firm. It has to be like, you know, like work your way up.
There's just want to talk about it. That's
yes. That's right.
There's time and place though, but that's when you reach a level of advancement where you already know all like the click.
Exactly. Because I was having a conversation about someone with that a while back. They're like, "Oh, you just want to do things slow all the time." I'm like, yeah, but that's the part. That's the process. Because once I know that you are aware and we can actually bond, that's when we can take it to the next level. And
that's when we can speed things up. And that's when we can have those moments where it's like, we're like bunnies right now. Like,
exactly.
Like, you know, but that takes time to build towards that. You have to be patient. You have to build it. And it's not just women who are like this too. There are men who are like this. There are men who don't get turned on that easily. There are men who need the emotions first. There are men who need, like, you know, the for you to just build up to that. They need to be stimulated mentally first.
Some of them shy dog, them just like puff them chest like.
Some of them shy.
Exactly. It's so true.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to share?
Nah. The puff chest thing just got me.
Yeah, no, I think that's good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Like, we have like a good 20 minutes on here.
Great.
Yes. Okay. Well, if you have any questions for any of us, like, let us know. Comment, like, and subscribe. We'd love to share your, love to like just talk more about this because we want to keep the momentum going. Like, this doesn't end here. It's just the beginning of this. Because as we're all taking our truths and speaking it to the world, it's actually connecting with more individuals and more beings with what it is we're experiencing, all of us, and how that goes into intimate experiences as well, and educating, but more in a space of speaking your truth. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, evening, day, wherever you are in the cosmos. Peace.